Pretty good. His name is Sheldon. I met him at Boston Blockchain Week about a month and a half ago. Sheldon, how you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Keep myself out of trouble.
Yeah, Friday afternoon. It's easy to stay out of trouble on a Friday.
For sure.
So Sheldon has his own project that's called Sugarcane. It kind of looks like an all-in-one sort of app, crypto app. It does a bunch of things here. It looks like he's VC or accelerated funded. So Sheldon, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Sugarcane, your app?
Yeah, for sure. So again, my name is Sheldon Chapman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sugarcane. You can think of Sugarcane really as like a DeFi aggregator, but also layered in with a bunch of social features. So at the high level, you can log in with your email, and it's pretty seamless just because like we actually we don't let the user think about the bridges, the chains, the gas. We abstract all that complexity away. So again, they sign up with their email. We spin up a bunch of smart contract wallets across like Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, Mainnet, Base, BSC. So a bunch of different chains. And the user can interact with basically any DeFi product on any of those chains. And it's all through the actual app experience. So it's a mobile app. You download it both on Android and iOS. So it's a kind of a fun, self-custodial, also social DeFi experience.
Okay, nice. And then, so are you VC funded? I know it looks like you came out of an accelerator. Maybe when you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So we're venture backed. We raised around in November of last year. So we closed that round. We're a pretty small team. So we're just keeping things pretty lean, building it out, getting the first version out in another couple of weeks. So pretty excited about that as well.
Okay, so we got like the first version of the mainnet, like the V1 is coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Pretty excited.
Nice. And then how much did you raise? You cut out a little bit there.
Yeah, so we're keeping our numbers a bit undisclosed for now.
Gotcha. Was it like through like the Boston VC sources or just all over the place?
All over the place. Like for example, one of our funds, they're SOSV, so they're a pretty large fund. They're about 1.5 or 8 billion in assets under management. That's one of our main parts. And then another one was called Mechanism Capital, and so they're based, I think, out of Singapore. They're about like a $600 to $700 million fund, fully crypto native, and then a number of different angels as well. So we have a pretty good round to get us going.
So some big players there and very multi-global. Sounds good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So do you have like plans for a token one day, or is it going to be more of a traditional sort of tech model there?
Yeah, so TBD on the token, just because there are ways in which we can layer in a token, but like the reality is that we are currently just a company, so we did equity round with a safe as well. And the idea that we have for the product itself is that it's fully self-custodial, and there's a lot of smart contracts actually on blockchain that interact and then make the whole experience pretty seamless. And so there's ways in which we can like layer on crypto native like incentive mechanisms going forward. But to start, no token now.
Okay, so it might be a token. So it's like a traditional equity round. At the same time, there might be a token at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, VC's got to be getting paid at some point here. So yeah, so a lot of these newer projects I talk to, they're kind of wait until market conditions improve. That seems to be sort of a trendy answer. They have stuff ready to go if they want to get the token live, but they just kind of wait until sort of a start of a bull run happens, because then everyone's kind of looking into altcoin projects. Is that like part of your strategy, or you just kind of wait until everything's actually ready to go?
Yeah, no, so this first version, we're actually launching it to a small group of alpha people. It's like a very, very small group of people to test out the product. There's like guardrails we put in place so we can actually like help people get access to their funds, interact with whatever protocol they want. And so we keep things pretty small to start and then slowly scaling over time. So we have a pretty long like wait list. So again, if people are interested, they can sign up at sugarcane.app. But we're slowly letting people into the actual product just because we want to make sure we grow pretty steadily and smoothly.
Okay, it also helps to kind of build the hype that way effectively. It's kind of a wait list to get in. You're privileged if you can get in. Only a few people can test out the beta launch.
Yeah. The next layer is that we're actually releasing like kind of similar to how Friendtech did their referral codes. We actually will have for the alpha group people who get in, they can get out referral codes they can give to their friends, and the kind of same thing to scale from that perspective.
Okay. Yep. Referral codes are always effective right there. Are you doing like the conference? Are you like promoting it at conferences outside of Boston Blockchain Week? Or are you keeping it more of just sort of online, sort of traditional social media?
Yeah, no, we've been to a bunch of conferences this year. We may actually also end up going to DevConnect in Istanbul, so you may see us there as well. So definitely hitting the conference circuit just to get the word out there and get people like excited about it.
Yes, yeah, I've seen DevConnect people bring it up. Where is that one again?
It's in Istanbul, so Istanbul, Turkey.
Oh, yeah. Wait, okay.
It's very hard.
No, I mean, yeah, if that's the beautiful thing about crypto conferences are just in, exotic places you'd never really go to otherwise. So as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like DevCon was last year. That was in Colombia. I was at that one too, so that was pretty fun. So
Yeah,
all over the world.
that one had a pretty big turnout right there.
It was huge. Yeah.
And then the way I'm hearing about the one in Istanbul, people are talking about it a bunch. They probably going to have at least 3,000 to 5,000 people. I'd have to imagine, maybe more.
Easily more than that, just because like both DevCon and DevConnect, they're like the big crypto conferences of the year, apart from like ETH Denver. So we're also gonna go there next year as well. But like those are kind of the big conferences people all try to go to just to be in one place. Also for the fact that like crypto is fully global, it helps people who are in different countries get to the actual particular location as well, if that's closer to them.
And yeah, Istanbul's right in between Dubai and the Europe crowd. It's a perfect location.
Yeah, and then also ETHCC, which was in July this year. That was in Paris. Although we're also there at that one too. So again, all over the world, crypto's pretty global.
You guys are hitting the conference circuit hard. That's the way to do it there.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about like market conditions for like in general. So if you're on Twitter, all you keep hearing about is people just talking about the bull run. It's going to start immediately. That's like what's your opinion on that? I've got some specific opinions myself, but let me know your opinion.
Yeah, no, I think crypto is interesting because it started to separate from like macro conditions. Kind of interesting, just because if you look at the global landscape, a lot of the countries around the world are raising their interest rates. The cost of capital is getting pretty expensive, and so like from the perspective of the global economy, it's looking pretty like fragile, to be honest. But you actually saw from like Bitcoin this whole past week and a half, it's been running, it's been ripping, and like out of the alt tokens, they've also started to rip as well. So like I kept that in a couple of other projects that are altcoins, but that are doing pretty well.
Yeah, I kind of agree with yours. I think it's going to creep up, not at this sort of ferocious pace that everyone else thinks so, but I think it's going to kind of eke out sort of a little bit greater than regular S&P 500 stock market returns. I don't think it's just going to be a catastrophic 2x or 3x like in 1 or 2 days. But the last week was encouraging because whenever like BTC goes up, then when it's like an altcoin season 2, they go up like way more than NBC. So Bitcoin only went up like 20%, not that much, but it felt like much more since altcoins were 2x and 3x and 4x. And
yeah. Also, funny enough, if you look at like the Bitcoin ETF language, all that stuff has been people really, really excited about that. So like people are starting to really start to feel that like it might be the beginning of a bull run. So it's always good to hear for all the altcoins.
Yeah, so the evidence does point to an ETF becoming closer to being finally approved. However, I've like since 2018, I've been hearing about an ETF possibly being approved every few months consistently since 2018, almost 6 years now. So I'll believe it when I see it, but it does seem like it's getting closer. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because like the dates for the SEC to approve any of the ETFs, I think it's coming up in like January 10th or something. So like definitely the early part of next year, we're gonna see something about an ETF, and then also with the Bitcoin happening around like March, April, that'd be a huge also catalyst as well. Because like not only is it both the institutional people can get access to the ETF, now crypto native people are stating that like the actual happening is like usually a catalyst for like a kickoff of a burn.
Exactly. And a lot of people say that the last 2 weeks that was very bullish. A lot of people think that was just money coming in advance of the ETF being approved. Yeah. So people are kind of just buying a ton of Bitcoin just as sort of a trading call right there.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, because like there was like on Twitter, there was like a fake announcement that ETF got approved, and so a bunch of people rushed into the actual into Bitcoin, only for that that news to be kind of falsified. And so we were just like, hey, maybe actually if everyone else is excited, then this is it.
Yeah, I mean, Cointelegraph, they've got to be doing a little better. Like the rumor started in what was like a 4chan chat room or something like that.
It was like Telegram chat room. Yeah, somebody like
Telegram chat.
Sent some article in there. This is the news, people.
It was better relieving when we found out that's what it was. So Cointelegraph, they weren't really into anything shady. They just have an incompetent intern who believes something he reads in Telegram. Come on, it's a pretty big, like 1.7 million followers. You can't just tweet anything you see in a Telegram chat room.
Yeah. Like, yeah, full send. We'll just go for it.
It was pretty effective though. That was the catalyst that
100%.
caused BTC to
100%.
rise, and
Literally, like,
it hasn't fallen
yeah.
since then. So.
I think the thing is that like people didn't realize how excited people were for that event, and then now that people like got almost like a false start, now everyone's like, oh man, like I actually maybe mispositioned, so I need to just jump on it quick.
It was, yeah, it was very good because it showed just a little catalyst like that, just like a rumor, like it caused it to go up 20-25%. Imagine when the real thing happens. So
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah. Yeah, and also like not financial advice, but like I was watching a couple of podcasts recently about like there's like back of envelope calculations for the amount of institutional capital that want to flow into Bitcoin. And if you look at like how like registered advisors, they actually currently can't get access to anything in crypto, and there's like trillions of dollars on the registered advisor like the registered advisors are controlling. So like just from the mere fact of like even like 1 or 2% of that flow. Just from the registered advisors who be people who have like IRAs or like Roth IRAs, like they can now get access to that in their IRA, retirement accounts. Like it's gonna be a huge catalyst going forward. So pretty excited about that too.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to be like, so the people working for BlackRock, the portfolio managers, whatever, like how much are they going to be promoting it to their clients? I think the clients kind
Yeah,
of listen, like a 65, 70-year-old independent, like self-made millionaire who's not really that into crypto to begin with. I don't think he's going to buy it on his own with or without it. But if the BlackRock portfolio managers are giving it the stamp of approval and the ETF's already approved, then he might be like, yeah, I'll take your word for it. Let's put it in there.
yeah. Even the CEO of BlackRock, he came out and said like Bitcoin is a flight to safety, and like he's a big like Larry Fink. He's a big like institutional guy who has a huge following, and they control the most number of assets like globally. And so for him to come on like I think it's a CNBC or CNN or something or Bloomberg, where he was like, yeah, Bitcoin is a flight to safety. Like that's a huge statement across the board, just like a validation. It's like I'm certain that's going to create a lot of like hype as well.
Like, I remember in 2017, 2018, his name, Larry Fink's name, was mentioned almost as negatively as Jamie Dimon's name. And, Jamie Dimon
Yeah,
was always really negative back then. Larry Fink was too. People
yeah.
forget that. His name was just not really that great in the crypto circles, but times are changing. Both those, even
Yeah.
Jamie Dimon is kind of neutral on it. So,
And also they have a product to sell now. So they have they have an ETF that they want to come out with. And it's like the amount of like marketing that's gonna go into like Bitcoin marketing is gonna be nuts. Like for example, I was in the airport the other day, and there's a whole bunch of like GBTC like ads that are coming across in the airport. And I'm like, man, this is just the beginning. This is bullish.
which airport was that?
This is in Austin. It was Austin Airport.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was flying around. Yeah. It was back also in Consensus. That was also in Austin.
Okay. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to Consensus like in 2018. Yeah, I
Yeah.
might go back this year whenever they have it, like April, May. But yeah, it's good kind of big event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Just because also that attracts a lot of like institutional people. It's like I always like I've been in crypto since 2017, 2016. So like I'm fully like crypto native DJ style and building as well. But like I like to also every so often get like a feed for how the institutional people are thinking about it. And like you definitely see a lot of like appetite from institutions to pick back up. So it's also pretty exciting and bullish.
Yeah, that's always a bullish thing right there. Let's talk about
Yeah.
like sectors within crypto that are kind of trendy right now. So I've been noticing, like obviously we had the meme coin craze 6 months ago. Then it's still obviously meme coins are always going to be big. I'm like trading
Yeah.
bot tokens, which is sort of kind of in line with what your product is, but trading bot tokens, those are the most profitable new
Yeah.
altcoins that have been coming out the last couple months. Have you been noticing that at all?
Yeah, so I've been following that as well. For me, I'm more also on the technical side. So like I look at like projects that have like a lot of like product there, like things that actually people can use and interact with. And it's like, for example, you saw that like the Chainlink token that was ripping pretty aggressively in the past like week or so. They actually have a pretty strong ecosystem. They have infrastructure that's built out that's used by millions and millions of dollars, millions of people with trillions of dollars flowing through it. So like, or billions of dollars flowing through it. So like, that's something I like to kind of look at the projects that have stuff going on. It's a infrastructure is definitely a big play of mine.
Yeah, Chainlink, I feel like it's one of those projects. So, like, if you're an influencer and then you have a bunch of bad calls in a row, or like you get like scammed or rug pulled, then Chainlink has like the best reputation in the space, but it's still kind of sexy. It's not as boring as like a
Yeah.
top two, top three coin. Then you
Yeah.
just Chainlink. They're always developing nonstop. The price is always doing pretty well. They've been around since mid 2017. It's just got their best
Yeah.
reputation in the space.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also kind of funny enough, even though there's a lot of like negative news about Solana last year, again, not financial advice, but like that's been pretty ripping pretty aggressively, which is surprising because I think people are starting to change the narrative that they have with Solana from it being like a SAM altcoin to being like its own standalone infrastructure. People are thinking about technology, and so that's becoming a lot more of a more common, mainstream name in the
Yeah,
mainstream crypto specifically.
right. It had two bad reputation. It was like a bad reputation because it was attached to Sam, and also it was just known as a VC heavy coin even beyond
Yeah.
FTX Ventures. But yeah, so Solana's been performing great in the last few like weeks, right? Is that what I've been saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That's still been, I think that like 2 or 3x for the recently.
Okay. Yeah, the Solana,
Yeah.
they're diehard, the Solana people.
Yeah. They're also building pretty strong infrastructure that a lot of people are starting to use and see the value of. So like that's also been pretty well. And then another one that I've also been following for recently is DYDX. So like with the launch of their new chain, so their DYDX chain, um, they basically cornered the market on like perps, so on-chain trading, on-chain perps, virtual swaps. And so like they actually have infrastructure built out. They have a strong product. They have real like fees and revenue flowing into the token. So like that's something that's been working pretty aggressively too. So that's
Yeah,
also
what was the name of that project again?
DYDX.
DYDX. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They're good one. Definitely check out the account.
Yeah, I've seen that one hyped. Well, I feel like that like we're just at that stage where some new like coin is just going to come out and go like 0 to a couple hundred million instantly in just like a week or two,
Yeah.
and that could cause a whole like sort of another mini bull run here. We'll see.
Yeah. And then fully in like the DGen side of it, there's like friend tech. So people in farming airdrops there just because like they announced that they're gonna come out with their token. So people are farming the points system in friend tech. So
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
like I got so confused with friends. It started like they were kind of paying a bunch of people to start testing it and all that stuff. Then a bunch of
Yeah.
people actually got into it, and then I couldn't even like keep like, is this like legit use or not use? It was not like it was just so confusing. So many people were getting on it for a variety of reasons.
Yeah. And also it's kind of interesting because like there's a whole regulatory question mark around if people can actually like create shares of themselves. So actually they actually changed the name from shares to keys. So there's a whole like regulatory question mark around like if friend tech can legally be a thing, but people still using it. People trying it out at least.
Yeah, but then it was confusing because keys sounds too much like your private key, which it has nothing to do
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. And that's a whole confusing thing too, because like also with the changing and renaming it, like people are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then what's your market forecast like over the hot? Like traditionally, a lot of people don't know December is kind of actually, unfortunately, a slow time. December and January.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think we
Yeah.
can like plow through that, or do you think it's? I think it might kind of remain flat. It's not going to go down at all. But December, January is
Yeah.
kind of slow traditionally. What do you think?
Well, just being in the space for so long, I try not to like be a trader as much. I try to focus on like more stable like news that I read about things. But like specifically around like December timeframe, it slows down a lot just because that's when people start to sell their assets to lock in like capital gains losses. And it's like in the event that we're down from certain highs, people may want to like sell assets now to basically, from a tax perspective, harvest that loss and then buy it back at the start of the year. So that's kind of the strategy that people end up using. That's why it ends up being slow. Also, people are on vacation, so they're not really like around like crypto on their computers or phones, whatever, to trade and stuff. That's also the reason why it's being slow. But like from a much more like larger perspective, it's kind of driven by two different catalysts. One is like how does the regulatory situation in the US fare for crypto? And like we've seen that like things have started getting better, and like the regulatory attitude has started to become a little bit lighter than it was like last year, for example. But like that's one big catalyst. And the second thing is like we talked about before was like the Bitcoin ETF and also happening narrative. That'll be a huge catalyst coming into like the first part of next year. Like barring like the whole market, like actual like the economy crashing, or like some crazy like bank crashing like we saw like earlier this year. I think like coming into like middle to next year, people will start to get like the excitement around like going into crypto again. And also crypto is very cyclical. Like if you look at the four-year market cycles that crypto tends to follow, we're coming up on the end of another 4-year cycle. So again, I think from like a narrative perspective, people are starting to see that like there could be some money forming, some like excitement starting to grow in the space. So I think those are all bullish capitalists.
Yeah, I'd agree because a lot of people forget. Now we've been like a good 6 to 9 months away from any company nuking or like FTX started.
Yeah.
Everyone a year and a half ago, FTX and BlockFi and Voyager. Now it's been like a good 7, 8 months since anything is nuked. So that's just a little more confidence, and that's what kind of ekes the market up there.
Yeah. And also kind of funny enough, we're actually coming up on the year since the FTX blew up. And also SBF just got arrested and like sentenced yesterday. So like he got guilty of all 7 charges. So he's definitely going away for some time. So I think like all the negative things that happened are starting to get cleared up or like resolved. So I'm hopeful that like that kind of from a mental perspective, those people will be a little more happy.
Yeah, I was so mad I didn't buy it. There was a meme token created a month ago called FTX. It was hanging out doing nothing. 100,000 market cap right after the verdict. It moves to 2 million market cap. It was like 20x ever. I can't believe I didn't think of like buying
that. Yeah, man, crypto people are hilarious, dude. Like, if you, it's always like meme coins that end up booming the most. But you gotta be careful with those because those also, just as fast as they go up, they also go down just as fast.
Right. Another one, there's like an ETF token. So like if an ETF gets approved, that could do another 10x that instantly, but we don't really know. Like with the trial, you kind of knew when it was going to end with the ETF token. We have no idea when it's going to approve, so it's tricky.
Yeah. So between like meme coins and also like betting markets, crypto is full of like volatility.
Nonstop. It's volatility is good. It's just as long as big companies aren't nuking and that gets bad publicity. Haven't had that in a while, so it's good. It's bullish.
It's bullish.
Right. It's like a negative bull, like the absence of any negatives, and that's kind of like a bullish thing right there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we'll probably wrap it up here. So anything more about Sugarcane or anything? I'll have the links at the bottom, but anything else about Sugarcane?
Sounds good. Yeah. So, I mean, again, we're coming out with this new product. If you're excited about it, just as we are, will be a lot of upcoming updates and alerts about it. So definitely follow us on Twitter, or X now as they call it. So Sugarcane_app. And then also sugarcane.app is the website. So stay tuned for more updates. And I'm excited.
And is the beta testing like still open if people want to get into that?
Yeah, so we're actually slowly onboarding more people into that alpha program. So like definitely feel free to sign up, and we'll kind of add you and inflate you as time comes on.
Okay, sounds good. I'll have the links at the bottom for everyone. So definitely check it out. So Sheldon, thank you very much for coming on the show. It's been a great time.
Thanks so much, Ben.
Thank you. All right, I'll stay on for a second. I'll just end the stream here, but stay on.
Cool.
Okay.